1. Hey there, car enthusiasts! Today we've got a real treat for you. A 1969 Lincoln Continental that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $6,500. This classic beauty has been passed down from father to son, and now it's looking for a new home. Let's dive into the details. Under the hood, you'll find a rebuilt 460 engine and transmission that were done up in 2016, so you know this baby's got some power. The odometer shows 1,100 miles, but it's rolled over, so the true mileage is a mystery. That just adds to the intrigue, doesn't it? Now, the seller admits that the passenger door and window need some TLC, but hey, that's just an opportunity for you to put your own personal touch on this ride. The good news is that all the glass is intact, and it's sporting a newer vinyl top that's looking sharp. The seller inherited this Continental and has been enjoying cruising around in it, but now they're relocating and can't take it with them. That means it's your chance to score a piece of American automotive history. The title is clean and clear, so you can drive this baby home with confidence. The seller says the pictures tell the story, and from what we can see, this 1969 Lincoln Continental is a real head-turner. It's got that classic style that never goes out of fashion, and with a little bit of work, it could be a real showstopper. Now, I've got to be straight with you. The seller doesn't mention anything about the overall condition of the car, so there could be some wear and tear that comes with a vehicle of this age. But that's all part of the charm, right? A classic car like this is meant to be driven and enjoyed, not just admired from afar. So if you're looking for a project car with plenty of potential or just want to add a vintage ride to your collection, this 1969 Lincoln Continental could be the one for you. The price is right, and the opportunity is there for the taking. Just remember, as with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to do your due diligence and have a trusted mechanic check it out before you seal the deal. But if everything checks out, you could be rolling down the street in this classic beauty in no time. So what are you waiting for? Grab that phone and shoot the seller a text before someone else beats you to it. This 1969 Lincoln Continental is ready to find its new forever home. And it could be with you. Happy bidding, car enthusiasts! 2. Hey there, fellow car enthusiasts! Have I got a treat for you today? We're taking a look at a stunning 1962 Mercury Monterey that's up for auction on Craigslist. This beauty is part of the Bob Gilbert estate auction. And let me tell you, it's a real head-turner. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the condition of this classic? The seller has listed it as being in excellent shape, and from the looks of it, they're not exaggerating. The photos show a car that's been well maintained and cared for over the years, which is exactly what you want to see in a vintage ride like this. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar to life. And with rear-wheel drive, you know this baby is built for some serious cruising. The odometer shows just 1,774 miles, which is incredibly low for a car of this age. That means you've got plenty of miles left to enjoy this classic beauty on the open road. Now here's the exciting part, the auction. The price listed on Craigslist is just for listing purposes, as this car will go to the highest bidder. It's lot 21 in the auction, so if you're interested, you'll want to head over to daviesauction.com to get all the details and place your bid. But wait, there's more. The Bob Gilbert Estate Auction isn't just about this gorgeous 1962 Mercury Monterey. There are plenty of other collector cars and goodies up for grabs, so even if this particular ride doesn't strike your fancy, there's bound to be something that catches your eye. Of course, as with any auction, it's important to do your due diligence before placing a bid. While the seller has listed the car as being in excellent condition, it's always a good idea to inspect it in person or have a trusted mechanic take a look before you commit to anything. That being said, if this 1962 Mercury Monterey is as good as it looks, it could be an incredible addition to any car enthusiast collection. The clean title means you won't have any trouble taking ownership, and the automatic transmission makes it easy to drive and enjoy. So what do you think? Are you ready to place your bid and make this classic beauty yours? If so, head on over to daviesauction.com and get in on the action. And even if you don't end up taking this particular car home, I have a feeling the Bob Gilbert Estate Auction is going to be a treasure trove of incredible finds for any car lover out there. Happy bidding, everyone! 3. Hey there, car enthusiasts! Today we've got a real treat for you. A 1971 Cadillac Fleetwood that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $4,750 or best offer. This classic beauty is a California car that's been cherished by its second owner, and now it's looking for a new home. Let's dive into the details. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar to life. And with rear-wheel drive, you know this baby is built for some serious cruising. The odometer shows 63,224 miles, which is pretty impressive for a car that's over 50 years old. The seller mentions that the car is in good mechanical condition, which is always a plus when you're dealing with a classic ride like this. However, they do note that it needs some TLC, so be prepared to put in a little work to get this beauty back to its former glory. The exterior is painted a sleek black, which is the perfect color for a classic Cadillac like this. And the fact that it was made by Fisher, one of the most respected names in the automotive industry, just adds to its allure. Now here's some good news for any potential buyers out there. The seller just got a new registration for the car that's good until March 2025, so you won't have to worry about that for a while. They also just had a new muffler installed, so you know this baby is ready to hit the road. Of course, as with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to do your due diligence and have a trusted mechanic check it out before you seal the deal. The seller mentions that the car needs some TLC, so be prepared to put in a little work to get it back to its former glory. But if you're up for the challenge and want to add a classic Cadillac to your collection, this 1971 Fleetwood could be the one for you. The price is definitely right, and the fact that the seller is open to best offers means you might be able to score an even better deal. So what are you waiting for? Give the seller a call between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. to get more info and schedule a time to check out this classic beauty in person. And who knows, you might just drive away in the car of your dreams. Happy shopping, car enthusiasts. 4. Hey there, car enthusiasts! Have I got a gem for you today? We're taking a look at a stunning 1956 Pontiac Pathfinder that's up for sale on Craigslist for just $10,000. This classic beauty is a real head-turner and it's in amazing condition. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that the seller has listed this car as being in like-new condition? That's incredibly rare for a vehicle that's over 65 years old. It's clear that this Pathfinder has been well-maintained and cherished over the years, which is exactly what you want to see in a classic ride like this. Under the hood, you'll find a reliable 6-cylinder engine that's ready to purr like a kitten. And with a 3-speed manual transmission, you know this baby is built for some serious driving enjoyment. There's just something about shifting gears yourself that really connects you to the car and the road. The exterior is painted a beautiful blue color that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. And the fact that it's a 4-door sedan means you can bring along your friends and family for the ride. Just imagine cruising down the street in this classic beauty with the windows down and the wind in your hair. Now, I know what you might be thinking. $10,000 is a lot of money for a car that's over 65 years old. But hear me out. This 1956 Pontiac Pathfinder is a rare find in this condition, and it's clear that the seller has put a lot of love and care into maintaining it over the years. Plus, with a clean title, you won't have any trouble taking ownership and making this beauty yours. Of course, as with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to do your due diligence and have a trusted mechanic check it out before you seal the deal. But if this Pathfinder is as good as it looks, and it really does look amazing, it could be an incredible addition to any car enthusiast's collection. So what do you think? Are you ready to make this 1956 Pontiac Pathfinder yours? If so, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and schedule a time to check it out in person. And even if you don't end up taking this particular car home, I have a feeling you'll be impressed by its condition and charm. Happy shopping, car enthusiasts! And don't forget to share this video with your friends who love classic cars as much as you do. Who knows, maybe one of them will end up being the lucky new owner of this incredible 1956 Pontiac Pathfinder. 5. Hey there, car enthusiasts! Have I got a unique find for you today? We're taking a look at a 1984 Dodge 600 convertible that's up for sale on Craigslist for just $2,000. This classic beauty is a real rarity, and it's got some pretty cool features that set it apart from the rest. First off, let's talk about that engine. This Dodge 600 is rocking a 2.2 multi-port fuel injection system that's turbocharged for some serious power. And with a rear-wheel drive, you know this baby is built for some fun driving experiences. The exterior is painted a clean white color that looks great with the new white convertible top. And when you peek inside, you'll find a red interior that's just begging for you to take it out for a spin on a sunny day. Now, the seller does mention that the car seems to vapor lock when it gets hot, so that's something to keep in mind. But hey, that's just part of the charm of owning a classic car, right? It's all about the tinkering and the love you put into it. The odometer shows just 26,510 miles, but the seller is unsure if it has rolled over. Either way, it's clear that this car has been barely used over the past 20 years while in the seller's dad's possession. That means you've got a real time capsule on your hands here. And the best part? The title is clean, so you won't have any trouble making this beauty yours. Now, I know what you might be thinking. $2,000 is still a chunk of change for a car that's almost 40 years old, but hear me out. This 1984 Dodge 600 convertible is a rare find in any condition, and it's clear that it's been well maintained over the years. Plus, with those unique features like the turbocharged engine and the convertible top, you're getting a lot of car for your money. Of course, as with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to do your due diligence and have a trusted mechanic check it out before you seal the deal. But if this Dodge 600 checks out, it could be an incredible addition to any car enthusiast's collection. So, what do you think? Are you ready to take a chance on this rare 1984 Dodge 600 convertible? If so, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and schedule a time to check it out in person. And even if you don't end up taking this particular car home, I have a feeling you'll be impressed by its unique features and potential. 6. Hey there, car enthusiasts! Have I got a special treat for you today? We're taking a closer look at a 1966 Chevy Malibu El Camino that's up for sale on Craigslist for just $9,750 or best offer. This classic beauty is a real California survivor with its original black plate still intact. First off, let's talk about that gorgeous exterior. The original color is Aztec Bronze Poly, which is a stunning shade that really makes this El Camino stand out from the crowd. And while the current engine is a 350 CID LS9 with an automatic transmission, this baby still has the third pedal from its original 4-speed setup. How cool is that? Inside, you'll find a medium and light fawn imitation leather interior that's just begging for you to sink into it. And if you're a fan of the SS option, you'll love the factory talk on the dash. It's the little details like this that really make this El Camino special. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A project car can be a daunting task, but hear me out. This 1966 Chevy Malibu El Camino has minimal rust and a solid undercarriage, which is a huge plus when it comes to restoring a classic like this. And with those original rally-style wheels and caps, you've got a fantastic starting point for a big block resto mod project. Of course, as with any project car, it's important to do your due diligence and thoroughly inspect the vehicle before making a purchase. But if this El Camino checks out, it could be an incredible opportunity to own a piece of California automotive history. And the best part, the seller is asking just $9,750 or best offer, which means you might be able to score an even better deal if you play your cards right. So what do you think? Are you ready to take on the challenge of restoring this 1966 Chevy Malibu El Camino to its former glory? If so, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and schedule a time to check it out in person. And even if you don't end up taking this particular car home, I have a feeling you'll be impressed by its potential. 7. Hey there, car enthusiast, we got a real treat for you. A gorgeous 1983 Cadillac Seville that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $4,500. This classic beauty is in excellent condition according to the seller, and it's easy to see why. First off, let's talk about that stunning blue paint job. It's in great shape and really makes this Cadillac stand out from the crowd. And when you peek inside, you'll find a mint leather interior that looks like it's barely been sat in. This car has clearly been well maintained over the years. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 4.1 LV8 engine that runs like a dream. With just 48,000 miles, or about 77,000 kilometers on the odometer, this Cadillac has plenty of life left in it. And with a clean title and Canadian plates, you can trust that this car has been well taken care of. But what really sets this Seville apart is its unique style. The slant-back trunk gives it a sleek, sporty look that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. And with rear-wheel drive and an automatic transmission, this car is a blast to drive. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A 40-year-old car for $4,500? Is it really worth it? But let me tell you, this Cadillac Seville is a true collector's item. It's a piece of automotive history that's getting harder and harder to find in such great condition. So if you're looking for a classic car that's stylish, comfortable, and powerful, this 1983 Cadillac Seville is the one for you. Don't miss your chance to own a true icon of American luxury. Give the seller a call today and take this beauty for a spin. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. 8. Hey there, car enthusiasts! We've got a real gem for you. A 1968 Oldsmobile 98 that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $7,500. This classic beauty has been lovingly maintained by a single owner and comes with an impressive array of service records and documentation that prove its authenticity and excellent condition. First things first, let's talk about the mileage. With just 72,000 original miles on the odometer, this Olds 98 has plenty of life left in it. The seller mentions that the car has no rust or rot, which is a testament to how well it's been cared for over the years. And while the tags are currently out, the seller is willing to work with the buyer to get new ones. Now that's what I call service. Under the hood, you'll find a numbers-matching engine that sounds healthy and starts right up. The transmission was rebuilt just 20,000 miles ago, so you can expect smooth and reliable shifting. And speaking of smooth, the seller notes that this Olds drives like a classic muscle car should, with plenty of power and a comfortable ride. Now I know what you might be thinking. A 55-year-old car is bound to have some wear and tear, right? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that there is some minimal wear on the interior and a few light scuffs on the body panels. But honestly, that just adds to the character of this vintage ride. Overall, this 1968 Oldsmobile 98 is a fantastic find for anyone in the market for a classic car. With its clean title history, extensive service records, and smooth driving experience, this is a car that you can feel confident taking out on the open road. And at just $7,500, it's a steal compared to other classic cars in this condition. So if you're ready to experience the thrill of driving a true American muscle car, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and schedule a test drive. Trust me, once you get behind the wheel of this beauty, you won't want to let it go. Happy cruising, car enthusiasts. 9. Hey there, car enthusiasts! We got a real treat for you. A rare 1969 Mercury Montego hardtop coupe that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $9,500 or best offer. This classic ride is one of only 17,785 made, so you know it's something special. First off, let's talk about the condition. The seller describes it as having good bones, which is always a promising sign. While it may not be in perfect condition, the fact that it runs, drives, steers, and stops is a huge plus. With a little TLC, this Montego could be a real showstopper. Under the hood, you'll find a 302 cubic inch 5.0-liter V8 engine paired with a C4 automatic transmission. This classic combo is known for its reliability and power, so you can expect a smooth and exciting ride. One of the standout features of this Montego is the newly upholstered custom seats. The seller doesn't provide much detail on the material or color, but it's always nice to see an owner investing in their classic car. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A 54-year-old car with 100,000 miles on the odometer? Is it really worth it? Well, that's up to you to decide. But keep in mind that classic cars like this are getting harder and harder to find, especially in running condition. And with a clean title, you can feel confident that this Montego has been well maintained over the years. Of course, as with any classic car purchase, it's important to do your due diligence. The seller notes that they're asking $9,500 or best offer, and they're only accepting cash, no trades. So if you're serious about making this Montego yours, be prepared to negotiate and have your funds ready. Overall, this 1969 Mercury Montego hardtop coupe is a rare find that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. With its classic styling, powerful V8 engine, and new custom upholstery, it's a car that's ready for its next adventure. So, if you're in the market for a vintage ride with plenty of potential, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and schedule a test drive. Who knows? You might just fall in love with this Montego and make it yours. Happy cruising, car enthusiasts! 10. We've got a real blast from the past, a 1978 Chevrolet Malibu Classic that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $5,000 or best offer. This survivor car is a true testament to the durability and style of American-made vehicles from the late 70s. Now, I want to be upfront with you all. The seller admits that they just purchased this Malibu to flip it, so they don't know a whole lot about its history or mechanical condition. However, they do note that the car runs and drives, which is always a good sign. One of the standout features of this Malibu is its body and seats, which the seller describes as being in great condition. It's rare to find a classic car from this era that hasn't been ravaged by rust or wear and tear, so this is definitely a plus. Under the hood, you'll find a gas-powered engine paired with an automatic transmission. While the seller doesn't provide any specifics on the engine size or horsepower, these Malibus were known for their reliable and efficient performance. The seller mentions that this Malibu would be great for a race car, which suggests that it may have some modifications or upgrades under the hood. However, without more information, it's hard to say for sure. As with any classic car purchase, it's important to do your due diligence before making an offer. The seller is asking $5,000 or best offer, which seems like a fair price for a running and driving Malibu in this condition. However, it's always a good idea to get a professional inspection and to check for any hidden issues or damage. Overall, this 1978 Chevrolet Malibu Classic is a cool find for anyone in the market for a vintage ride with plenty of potential. Whether you're looking for a daily driver, a weekend cruiser, or a project car, this Malibu could be the perfect fit. So if you're ready to take a trip back in time and experience the nostalgia of the late 70s, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and schedule a test drive. Who knows? You might just fall in love with this classic Chevy and make it yours. Happy cruising, car enthusiasts! 11. We've got a real gem on our hands. A 1977 Ford LTD that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $4,500. This classic sedan is in excellent shape for its age and boasts an incredibly low mileage of just 30,722 miles. That's right, you heard me correctly. This LTD has been driven less than 1,000 miles per year on average since it rolled off the assembly line. First off, let's talk about the condition. The seller describes this LTD as being in excellent shape, and based on the low mileage, it's easy to see why. The red paint job is likely original and should shine up nicely with a little bit of elbow grease. And with such low miles, you can bet that the interior is in great shape too. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's paired with a smooth shifting automatic transmission. These LTDs were known for their comfortable ride and easy handling thanks in part to their rear-wheel drive layout. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. If this car is in such great shape, why hasn't it been started in about a year? Well, there could be a number of reasons for that. Perhaps the seller simply hasn't had the time or need to drive it, or maybe they've been saving it for a special occasion. Regardless, it's important to keep in mind that any car that's been sitting for a while may need some minor maintenance or repairs to get it back on the road. The seller mentions that this LTD would be an easy restoration, and I couldn't agree more. With such low miles and original components, this car is a prime candidate for a full restoration. Imagine the looks you'd get cruising down the street in a beautifully restored 1977 Ford LTD. Of course, as with any classic car purchase, it's important to do your due diligence before making an offer. While the seller describes this LTD as being in excellent shape, it's always a good idea to get a professional inspection to check for any hidden issues or damage. At just $4,500, this 1977 Ford LTD is a steal for anyone in the market for a classic sedan with plenty of potential. Whether you're looking for a weekend cruiser, a show car, or a project to sink your teeth into, this LTD could be the perfect fit. So if you're ready to experience the nostalgia and charm of the late 70s, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and schedule a test drive. Who knows, you might just fall in love with this classic Ford and make it yours. Happy cruising, car enthusiasts. 12. We've got a classic 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix up for grabs on Craigslist for just $6,500. This vintage sedan has been around the block a few times with 87,575 miles on the odometer, but it still has plenty of life left in it. First off, let's talk about the condition. The seller describes this Grand Prix as being in fair condition, which is to be expected for a car that's over 40 years old. They mention that there is some rust in the trunk area, which is a common issue with these old Pontiacs. However, the fact that the seller is upfront about this issue is a good sign. It shows that they're being honest about the car's condition. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 403 cubic inch V8 engine that's paired with a newly installed 350 transmission. This combination should provide plenty of get up and go for cruising down the highway or hitting the back roads. The seller notes that the car runs well and that the brakes are in good shape, which is always a plus for any classic car. They also mention that the car has a clean title, which means that there are no outstanding liens or legal issues with the vehicle. Now let's talk about that yellow paint job. While it may not be everyone's cup of tea, there's no denying that it's a bold choice that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. And hey, if you're not a fan of the color, a paint job is always an option down the line. Of course, as with any classic car purchase, it's important to do your due diligence before making an offer. While the seller describes this Grand Prix as being in fair condition, it's always a good idea to get a professional inspection to check for any hidden issues or damage. And with that rust in the trunk, it's definitely worth taking a closer look to see how extensive the damage is. At $6,500, this 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix is priced fairly for a classic car in this condition. It's not a show car by any means, but it's a solid driver that's sure to provide plenty of smiles per mile. Whether you're looking for a weekend cruiser, a project car, or just a fun ride to take to the local car shows, this Grand Prix could be the perfect fit. So if you're ready to experience the nostalgia and charm of the late 70s, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and schedule a test drive. Just be prepared to answer a lot of questions from curious onlookers who are sure to be wowed by that bright yellow paint job. Happy cruising, car enthusiasts! 13. Hey there, car enthusiasts! Now we've got a real classic on our hands, a 1966 Ford Thunderbird that's up for grabs on Craigslist for just $8,000. This stunning red beauty has been well maintained over the years and has some great features that are sure to impress. First off, let's talk about the engine. The seller mentions that the engine was rebuilt just 1,000 miles ago, which is a huge plus. They also note that the car has a rebuilt C6 transmission, new exhaust system, rebuilt starter, and a newer battery. These are all great signs that the car has been well cared for and should run smoothly. The seller also mentions that they recently replaced the steering column wiring harness, shift lever, and detent, as well as the rear sending unit. And get this, all of the suspension components are new, including the ball joints, bushings, shackles, and tie rod ends. This is a big deal, as these components are crucial for a smooth and safe ride. Now let's talk about the exterior. The seller notes that the car has its original paint color, which is always a plus for classic car enthusiasts. They also mention that they added some skirts to the car, but have the original trim available if the buyer prefers a more original look. The tires are also in great shape, which is important for both safety and aesthetics. Of course, no car is perfect, and this Thunderbird is no exception. The seller does mention that there is some rust on the rear end by the taillights, which is a common issue with these cars. They also note that the rubber drains for the trunk channel have rotted away, which has allowed some water to enter the trunk area. However, they assure potential buyers that the rust is not too bad. Moving on to the interior, the seller mentions that the car needs a new headliner and some paint work. They also note that there are some electrical issues, such as the power windows not working properly and the gas gauge not functioning. Additionally, the sequential turn signals and radio are not working. While these issues may seem daunting, they are relatively common in classic cars and can be fixed with some time and effort. Overall, this 1966 Ford Thunderbird is a great find for anyone looking for a classic car with some character. While it may need some work here and there, the fact that it runs and drives great is a huge plus. And with its original paint color, new suspension components, and rebuilt engine, this car has a lot of potential to be a real showstopper. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's sure to turn heads, this 1966 Ford Thunderbird might just be the one for you. At just $8,000, it's a great deal for a car with so much history and potential. Don't miss out on this opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history. 14. We've got a real blast from the past. A 1973 Chevrolet Chevelle that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic beauty is priced at $8,000, and let me tell you, it's got some serious potential. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This Chevelle has seen better days. The seller admits that it needs some cosmetic TLC with a few dents and rusty spots that need attention, The interior could also use some love, but hey, that's all part of the charm of owning a classic car, right? Under the hood, this Chevelle is packing a 350 V8 engine and an automatic transmission, which is a solid combo. It's also got power steering and power front disc brakes, so it should handle like a dream. And get this, it even has factory air conditioning. Sure, the AC and radio aren't working at the moment, but that's just another weekend project to tackle. The seller mentions that the odometer has rolled over at 116,567 miles, but don't let that scare you off. This Chevelle is a survivor and it's got plenty of life left in it. The tires and wheels only have about 300 miles on them, so you won't have to worry about replacing those anytime soon. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about that transmission leak? Well, I'm not gonna lie, that's definitely something you'll want to address. But the seller is upfront about it, and that's a good sign. It means they're not trying to hide anything. At the end of the day, this 1973 Chevelle is a worthy running restoration project. It's got a clean title, and it runs, drives, and stops like it should. With a little elbow grease and some love, this classic could be the pride and joy of any car enthusiast collection. So, if you're looking for a project car that's got some serious potential, this Chevelle might just be the one for you. It's not perfect, but that's what makes it so damn cool. And at $8,000, it's a steal compared to some of the other classic cars out there. 15. Hey there, car lovers! Today, we're diving into the world of classic American muscle with this 1979 Mercury Cougar that's up for grabs on Craigslist. With an asking price of just $3,000, this cat is ready to pounce on a new owner. Now let's talk about what we know. This Cougar is rocking a clean title, which is always a good sign. Under the hood, you'll find a beastly 8-cylinder engine that's sure to purr like a kitten and roar like a lion. And with a rear-wheel drive setup, you can expect some serious fun behind the wheel. The seller has gone ahead and replaced the carburetor and fuel pump, so you won't have to worry about those pesky issues that can come with classic cars. That's a big plus in my book. But here's the thing. If you're in the market for a classic Cougar, you probably already know that these cars have some miles on them. It's all part of the charm, right? Just make sure to give it a thorough inspection before you make any decisions. As for the overall condition of the car, the seller doesn't provide a ton of details. We don't know if there's any rust, dents, or other cosmetic issues, and we don't have any info on the interior either. So if you're serious about this Cougar, definitely schedule a visit to check it out in person. At the end of the day, this 1979 Mercury Cougar is a classic piece of American muscle that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. With a clean title, a strong 8-cylinder engine, and some fresh parts under the hood, it's got a lot of potential. And at just $3,000, it's a bargain compared to some other classic cars out there. But as with any used car purchase, especially a classic, it's important to do your due diligence. Ask the seller plenty of questions, get a thorough inspection, and make sure you know what you're getting into. 16. We've got a real treat for you, a stunning 1955 Pontiac Chieftain sedan that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is priced at just $8,800, and let me tell you, it's a whole lot of car for the money. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the gorgeous green paint job on this Chieftain? The seller says it's in pretty decent condition, and I have to agree. The body lines and gaps are looking great, and overall, this is one solid car. But the real star of the show is what's under the hood. This Chieftain is packing a late 60s 400 GTO engine, and according to the seller, it runs perfectly. That's some serious power for a classic ride like this. And with an automatic transmission that shifts smoothly, you'll be cruising down the road in style. Inside, the interior is very clean and well maintained. The seller even mentions that the gas gauge works, which is a rarity in classic cars. And with updated gauges for more accurate readings, you'll always know exactly how your Chieftain is performing. Now, the seller does mention that the front hood molding is missing, but that's a small detail in the grand scheme of things. And with a super solid underside and a spotless engine compartment, it's clear that this Chieftain has been well cared for over the years. One thing to note, the odometer shows 100,000 miles, but that's to be expected with a classic car like this. And honestly, with the excellent condition this Chieftain is in, those miles just add to its charm. The seller even offers delivery, which is a nice perk if you're not local. And if you're out of state and want to see this beauty in action, the seller has a video of it running that they can share with you. Overall, if you're looking to get into the classic car game without breaking the bank, this 1955 Pontiac Chieftain is a fantastic option. It's got the looks, the power, and the price tag that make it a total steal. So what are you waiting for? Give the seller a call, between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. of course, and make this Chieftain yours before someone else snatches it up. Trust me, you won't re-get it. 17. Now, we've got a real gem for you. A 1985 Mercury Grand Marquis that's up for grabs on Craigslist. And get this, it's priced at just $2,250. That's right, you could be cruising down the road in this classic beauty for less than the cost of a fancy coffee maker. Now let's talk about what makes this Grand Marquis so special. First off, it's all original, which is a rarity these days. And with only 72,472 miles on the odometer, this car is just getting started. The seller even mentions that it's been perfectly maintained, so you know it's been well cared for over the years. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar, and with rear-wheel drive, you'll feel like a true boss behind the wheel. Plus, with an automatic transmission, cruising around town will be a breeze. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about the condition? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that there's some light surface rust and the paint is a bit faded. And yeah, the vinyl top has seen better days, but honestly, that's all part of the charm of owning a classic car. And the seller even says it can be a daily driver, so you know it's still got plenty of life left in it. But here's the real kicker. This Grand Marquis is a restoration waiting to happen. With a little TLC, you could turn this beauty into a real showstopper. Imagine rolling up to your local car show in a fully restored 1985 Mercury Grand Marquis. You'd be the talk of the town. And let's not forget about the color. That classic blue is just begging for a wax and shine. It's the kind of color that turns heads and makes people say, wow, now that's a car. One thing to note, the seller is only answering text inquiries, so don't bother with emails. But honestly, who has time for emails when you could be cruising around in this classic beauty? So if you're ready to take on a restoration project or just want a cool daily driver, this 1985 Mercury Grand Marquis is the car for you. And at just $2,250, it's a steal of a deal. 18. We've got a real treat for you. A 1984 Chevrolet Corvette that's up for grabs on Craigslist. And get this, the seller just dropped the price to $6,000. That's right, you could be the proud owner of this classic American sports car for less than the cost of a used Kia. Now let's talk about the good stuff first. This Corvette is rocking a sleek red exterior that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. And with a black interior, it's got that classic sports car look that never goes out of style. Plus, with an automatic transmission and air conditioning, you'll be cruising in comfort all summer long. But here's the really impressive part. The seller just drove this baby from Michigan to Oklahoma at 75 miles per hour and got a whopping 25 miles per gallon. That's pretty darn impressive for a classic sports car with a beefy 8-cylinder engine under the hood. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about the condition? Well, the seller is upfront about the fact that there are a few issues. The rack and pinion will need to be replaced, and there's a small oil leak that needs to be addressed. But hey, that's all part of the fun of owning a classic car, right? The seller also mentions that there are several different leaks, but they're not sure where they're all coming from. But don't let that scare you off. This Corvette has $1,500 in new tires and shocks, so you know it's been well maintained. And honestly, at just $6,000, this Corvette is a steal. Sure, it might need a little work here and there, but that's all part of the charm of owning a classic car. And with a clean title and 90,000 miles on the odometer, this Corvette has plenty of life left in it. So if you're ready to take on a classic American sports car and make it your own, this 1984 Chevrolet Corvette is the car for you. Just imagine cruising down the highway with the wind in your hair and the roar of that 8-cylinder engine in your ears. It's the kind of experience that every car enthusiast dreams of. One thing to note, the seller doesn't mention anything about the interior condition, so be sure to ask about that before you make any decisions. But overall, this Corvette is a solid choice for anyone looking to get into the classic car game. 19. We've got a real treat for you. A 1971 Ford Mustang that's been a true labor of love for a father and daughter duo. This classic beauty is up for grabs on Craigslist for just $8,500. And let me tell you, it's got some serious potential. Now, I've got to be straight with you. This Mustang isn't in perfect condition. The exterior bodywork still needs some TLC. But don't let that discourage you. The interior has been completely revamped with new carpet, headliner, dash, and visors. The only thing left to do is upholster the seats, and you'll have a cabin that's as fresh as the day it rolled off the assembly line. Under the hood, this 71 Mustang is packing a 302 CI engine that's been given some serious attention. We're talking a new fuel system, brake system, aluminum radiator, coolant systems, distributor, ignition parts, and starter. The result? An engine that runs like a dream. The seller is clearly motivated to find this Mustang a new home, and they're only looking for serious inquiries. So, if you're ready to take on a project that's already got a head start, this could be the perfect opportunity. Just imagine cruising down the road in this classic American muscle car, knowing that you've put your own sweat and tears into making it shine. With a clean title and just 16,000 miles on the odometer, this 1971 Ford Mustang is ready for its next chapter. So what do you say, folks? Are you ready to make this father-daughter project your own? Don't let this chance slip away. Give the seller a call and make this Mustang yours today. 20. Hey there, fellow car enthusiasts. Have I got a treat for you today? We're diving into the world of classic American muscle with this stunning 1966 Dodge Dart GT. And let me tell you, it's a beauty that's sure to turn heads. First things first, let's talk about the price. At just $6,000, this Dart GT is an absolute steal. You're getting a whole lot of car for your money, and it's clear that the current owner has put a ton of love and care into this classic ride. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Under the hood, you'll find a slant 6 225 engine that's ready to rumble. Paired with an automatic floor shift transmission, this Dart GT is a breeze to drive. And with power steering and manual brakes, you'll have plenty of control over this classic beauty. The exterior of this Dart GT is finished in a stunning blue paint that's sure to catch the eye of anyone who sees it. There are a few small things missing, like the hood ornament and latch, and a little bit of trim. But those are easy fixes that won't take away from the overall look of this car. Inside, the headliner needs to be installed, but don't worry, all the parts you need are right there in the trunk. And speaking of the trunk, you'll find a set of great tires that will keep you rolling in style. But perhaps the best part of this Dart GT is the story behind it. The current owner has given this car the name Betty, and it's clear that it's been a well-loved part of their family for years. And now, it's ready to find a new home and create even more memories with its next owner. So if you're looking for a classic American muscle car that's got a ton of character and is ready to hit the road, look no further than this 1966 Dodge Dart GT. With its clean title and just under 100,000 miles on the odometer, this is a car that's got plenty of life left in it. Don't miss your chance to make this Dart GT yours. Give the seller a call today and get ready to fall in love with Betty. Your new favorite classic ride.